All right, don't say bad words.
You guys want to keep watching memes?
Yeah, please.
Smegma.
Put it on. Smegma. You have to censor that.
Do we actually?
I don't know.
What is it?
About
What do you mean, what is
Fugma.
that?
About Fugma.
What's that?
You don't know what that is? That's how you want to open up Derailed? You want to look like an idiot?
John literally brushes it on his
Dick.
teeth.
Oh, is that? I know what it is now. Yuck. Yuck.
Because you brush it on your teeth?
No, you said.
Oh.
I heard you say dick.
He said it and you said it. You're
I was
nasty.
listening to you. I don't listen to that.
Welcome to episode 8
Yep.
It's 8.
of the Derailed podcast. Hey!
It might be 7.
It's 8.
No, it's 8. It's in there kind of.
How you know?
Because I'm the one that puts the
How do you
metadata.
know?
I do the anals.
Yeah, man. Fugma.
And he does the smegma.
Well, guess what? It is 8.
Hey, welcome to episode 8 of the Panel Pals. Nope. Derailed
Derailed.
podcast. We're off to a great start.
Yeah.
This is the podcast where we have no topics, no nothing. We just go. We talk for an hour. Everything and anything goes. And at the end of the hour, we get cut off. I'm your host, Alex, with my co-host, John.
Hello.
Yes.
My homie, Rafa.
Fugma.
And Hector. Hey.
Fuck, man.
You want a Fugma?
No, I don't want to fuck
You know what that means?
Yes.
What it means?
I'm not going to say it.
Because you don't know what
I
it
do
means.
know.
Hey, your like hoodie keeps giving like putting lint in your beard.
Yeah.
So you have,
It's a
like-
new style.
It's being stupid.
Hector died a little inside when you said that.
Hey.
So why is Dave Chappelle right?
Oh boy.
Nice.
Start
That
there.
was
I
crazy.
like where we're going with
That's
this.
a wild one.
There.
Want to talk about Dave Chappelle? Did you see the specials? Have you guys seen the
I
specials?
haven't
No,
watched
but
it, but I just see all the backlash.
I just know that there's a lot of controversy around it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
I don't really care for it either, to be honest.
You don't like Dave Chappelle?
Not that I don't
You're
like
not
him.
It's
funny.
hilarious.
After his like show, I haven't really like, kept up with him.
So like 20 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
It shows,
So you saw
it shows
none of
it's
his
classic.
specials as of late?
I don't really care for. I don't really watch comedy specials like that. So
Shows a lot.
It shows it's a classic.
You haven't seen the stand-up, right, Rafa? You said
Not the newest
the
one.
closer.
Not the newest one.
John, you've seen it.
I love it.
Yeah, I thought it was really.
But
good.
I know what goes on.
I love it.
Do you know the jokes, the actual
Have
specific
you, I'm
jokes?
pretty sure it's all over like TikTok and shit.
I haven't heard the specific jokes, but I know what people are mad about.
same.
Yeah.
I've actually heard the jokes, but
Well,
I heard
they're
the
on
ones that I heard
TikTok,
the ones
right?
that are people are mad about.
Right.
Is it
Yeah.
on TikTok
Now, wait, because I'm
Twitter,
curious
too.
from the perspective of someone who didn't see the special
or cares?
cares. Out of context, because I'm assuming you only saw a snippet of it, you didn't see the whole.
Yeah, I saw the jokes that were like the red flags where it's like, hey, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously there were some. From what I heard, there were some good ones that had nothing to do with like,
Yeah.
the actual issues that people have.
Yeah.
But like that they were actually good. People are like, oh, I found this one funny up until you got to this part, and like I've seen people like say shit like that. I'm just like, oof. But yeah, so like on Twitter, I saw people saying like, hey, this, that, and the other about the stuff, and I mean, I wanted to form my own opinion on it. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but like just seeing that stuff, I was like, I could see how people got offended hearing some of the jokes that he said. Even if he kept prefacing like, hey, I'm not trying to offend anybody and shit, but it's just like, you're like teetering this fence where it's just like you should.
Oh, he knew.
No, he knew 100%.
Dude, the whole time he was like, "I'm going all in." Like, people are gonna be mad about this.
Now.
Like he said the entire special. He's been saying some of the most roughest shit he's ever said, and he's like, "I'm
I
going
don't
in."
know about roughest shit.
That's some of the roughest shit he's ever said.
I don't think so.
What's
I've also
rougher
seen
than what he
people
said?
defend him.
I think it's rough now because that's where we are politically.
Mhm.
But he says some worse stuff about black people, his own people, with the jokes he makes about them. Like I feel it's very on par with everything else. I just feel because these people got so mad at it, that's why it's the roughest stuff. But really, it's on par with everything else he said.
Yeah.
True.
How many slavery jokes has he made? How many racist jokes has he made towards his own
He was
people?
also making fun of Martin Luther King a lot.
So it's like,
in this.
I don't
he was
think
making
it's
a lot.
Honestly, the jokes he said were relatively tame. I mean, they're still, they're not like
I wouldn't say tame, but they're not like.
I'm talking about on his level of like where the shit that he says, it's right on par. It wasn't anything like, oh, he went above and beyond to. No, it was.
I have a question. At what point do you think that comedy is no longer able to be taken as art?
comedy?
Like,
No.
at what point?
level.
At what point does it cross the line of just being offensive?
It never
Because
does.
like
It never will.
I personally agree. I personally think that this stand-up special is like it is comedy. It's a comedy special.
Yeah.
You can't really get offended.
I'll tell you when. There's a line. There's a line. Now there's a fine. It's a very fine line, like the definitive line. what Dave Chappelle did is still stand up, it's still comedy. It was hilarious to me. I loved it. Fine. When it stops becoming comedy is when somebody gets up there and says the equivalent of "kill these people," right? Or does what I don't know his real name, but what Kramer did on stage, and just starts yelling the N word at people just to piss them off. Obviously, at that point, it's no longer comedy. You are just mad.
Literally attacking
right?
people. Yeah.
So, to answer your question, in my opinion, comedy itself, stand-up comedy and routines like that, will never. How did you word your question?
It's never gonna be censored. It's never gonna stop. It's gonna keep going for the reason because of, first of all, by the way, guys, something that really ties in really well with this conversation is that there is a documentary. I'm pretty sure I brought this up before, but there's a documentary on Vice on YouTube where they talk about 9/11 and comedians around 9/11.
You did bring this up, and
Yeah.
I did not. I don't remember you saying them to
Okay.
me.
I don't remember this either.
But that sounds
I guess
super interesting.
I just told that.
was that during the You and Me episode?
Most likely has been.
Oh.
So pretty much what it revolves around 9/11, right? Which is a big, huge deal to us here, to us Americans. The day that the Twin Towers were attacked.
Yeah.
A lot of people died, right?
Right.
And it follows like Gilbert Gottfried's on there, Jeff Ross on there. A lot of famous comedians are on this documentary, and they're talking about like their experiences and what they believe about like if it's when it's too soon or when is it safe to start joking things about again. And that fits well with this because they were saying like some people were cracking jokes the same day about 9/11.
Jesus, really?
Right.
Yikes.
There was this one guy, and I don't want to get too much away from the documentary itself, but there's one guy who had he had a one-man show that just the timing was the worst. It was at the same time around 9/11 happened. He didn't do it. He already had it planned before 9/11, but it dealt with terrorists and stuff like that. And it went on, and the show was planned after, like the 1 week after 9/11, and it literally his career died when he did that.
Yeah,
He still did it.
He still went for it.
That was a
career
that
died.
was a
that
short
was a
sight.
That was probably a
choice,
stupid
yeah.
ass idea.
Yeah, and so then a lot of these comedians are talking about like, hey, when is it too soon? Or is it still too soon? Some of them are talking about like years later. Is there still something we can joke about? And when it comes with stuff with this, I believe that anything and everything can be made fun of.
Me too.
I don't think things should be censored. And if you don't like it, that's just not. It's not part of your humor. It's not something that you enjoy, but you shouldn't try to bring it down for everybody else, right? You shouldn't try to censor for everybody else, right? So what the main thing we're talking about with Dave Chappelle, he was making fun of the transgender community.
Right.
That was like his main jokes.
Well, that was the main jokes, but that was the ones that got everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Like the main thing that like the whole controversy that's around it is that he was making those type of jokes, right?
Yeah.
Which wasn't new. He did it in his other specials too.
Yeah,
he did it like every other special.
Every single
Right.
special he had, I think, had a trans.
And he kept going on it with this one, and he's getting a lot of flack for it now. I don't have a problem with it, but I haven't seen it. Even I know when I watch it, I know I'm not gonna have a problem with it either way. It's weird because like I want to say like they should calm down and not like worry about it, but at the same time I'm not part of that community, so I don't know how that feels.
Right.
Well,
right?
I mean, I'm a Hispanic myself, right?
Right.
And there's been a bunch of Hispanic jokes. We all are Hispanic
Right.
here. There's been a bunch. And if a
Not
stand-up
me.
comedian like wants to go out here and make fun of Hispanic stuff, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, cancel that guy. He made fun of his, but that's me.
Right.
That's
See,
me.
the thing is that like for us, we can say jokes.
Yeah.
On and really offensive jokes.
Yeah.
Like for example, like
I thought you were about to say something.
For example,
no, like I was gonna say,
Like, look at my man's right here.
as you guys know, my mom died of cancer, right?
Yeah.
But I don't shy away from cancer jokes.
Right.
I still find them funny,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So it's something like that. But the thing is I just feel like people need to. I don't want to say stick to their own lane, but like if there's something that you do not enjoy in part of entertainment, just leave it be for other people.
Yeah, don't watch
Pretty much, don't watch.
Yeah.
it. The best way to show that you don't like something, then don't support it. Don't give it attention, right? Because so many people start bitching and hollering about Dave Chappelle. Now I know there's a special out. I didn't even know there was gonna be a special out.
Yep.
That was not on my radar.
Yeah, unless you were following him, you would see it.
I love Dave Chappelle, so like I knew something was coming out.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I was like, this is gonna cause like an uproar because he always had something to say. But this one, he directed it straight on to the fact that they were offended, and then double down, triple down on it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is gonna cost something. I just didn't know it was gonna be to this extent.
And also on top of that, two of the main people who were doing a lot of the uproar were employees of Netflix.
That's when I have a problem with
and
it.
and they ended up quitting, I think, because of it.
One of them got fired.
And
Fired.
Yeah, because he leaked information about the special. How
Mhm.
much Dave Chappelle made off of the special, shit like
you
that.
can't do
Well, you
that.
can't
do
I don't
that.
care how
And
hurt your
You
fucking
can't-
feelings
can't
are.
do
You
that.
can't
I don't
do
give a fuck
that.
how
And,
high and mighty you think you are. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
And the thing that I like about it is that at the end of the day, Netflix is nah, we're gonna keep it on because it's making us money. They
Yeah.
don't even care. They just want
No, that
just
and then
want
they
the money.
support. They
100% support Dave Chappelle.
yeah,
100%.
which you should.
And and the other thing I wanted to point out is that there could be all this backlash. Oh, don't make fun of this group. Don't make fun of this group. The more you push back, the more people are gonna start pushing back. Also,
That's where I'm at. I'm right there with it's funny because
so that's why comedy's never gonna die.
Mhm.
It's never gonna be censored because the more you push back, the more people are gonna be like, well, now I'm gonna even say more offensive shit.
And the funniest part about this is that these guys don't seem to understand is the more sensitive you are, the more power Dave Chappelle has. You know what I'm saying? The more power these stand-up comedians has because your uproar is gonna make them bigger. Like you said
Mhm.
yourself, you didn't know there was a stand-up special. Now you do.
Now you
I
do.
saw that shit
Yeah.
twice.
And now you know that it's super offensive. And like most of the majority of the population is, you're probably super curious and nosy when it comes to shit like that. So at some point, maybe not yourself or Hector,
Yeah,
but
I don't really care.
people
for
are
it.
probably going to try to find something or watch it. And now you just
Yeah.
gave more eyes to this
So-
thing that you want down.
Right.
To kind of, I guess, play devil's advocate to your thing. It's like staying in your lane and comedy should be comedy. But when does it get to the point where it's I'm gonna say racist jokes because they're jokes, and I'm not racist, but they're racist jokes.
Mhm.
So when can you say that shit? You can't claim it as a joke and pass it off as, oh, I'm just kidding, by the way, this is just a joke to make people laugh.
I feel like it depends on if it's actually funny.
Well, but that's subjective. You can't go down that
Yeah,
road because
but you can't go down.
because
No,
that
I,
road.
but
I can
the
say
thing
some
is-
racist shit right now and somebody might laugh.
Well,
But the thing
like-
is,
Yeah.
but it kind of goes with example with you with the Kramer guy.
That's where the line
Right?
is. It's the same place.
So,
I think
if I just go up there and be like, yo,
intent matters.
N-word is that's not funny. You're just
But
trying to be
people
shocking.
can fake that. They can
Well,
fake
I
intent.
think,
Oh
like,
no,
that's
I
the-
was planning to just say, hey, this is just for laughs. I'm not being racist. But they can fake that. They can genuinely be
you
racist,
can
but then make
still-
these jokes.
even if they do that, hey, this is a joke. Hey, you guys are a bunch of, you can tell what it is.
Yeah.
At that
I
point,
think you can. It depends on the character of the person. For
Yeah.
example,
because Dave Chappelle said a bunch of racist shit too, towards Chinese people, Asians, and all. He sees all the time. That's just part of his stuff.
Yeah.
But because it's in a comedy, because it's comedy, and you know the intent and the context of the whole situation, it's a comedy show.
I think, yeah,
When you pay money or when you click on a comedy show, you have to be aware that, hey, this is a comedy show. You're gonna hear and see some things that you may not agree with. You as a person, as a viewer, as someone who's gonna take in content, have to have a share of the responsibility here.
Mhm.
You clicked it. I clicked it. The transgender community, they clicked it, knowing good and well that the last 3 specials, he did the same shit.
yeah.
So when you click it, you're looking to get mad, number one. Number two, it's stand-up comedy. Historically, and that's what this art is for, is to say shit that no one else is going to say.
Mhm.
To say shit to push boundaries. That's what it's for.
and that ties in with the documentary about Too Soon about 9/11.
As
by the
far as
way.
your thing, it's when does the line? I think it depends on the character of the person. There's been numerous things of certain comedians who have sexual allegations and stuff like that that've made really fucked up jokes. I think even Louis C.K. had his own shit, and then although to be honest, his whole jerking off thing is a certain thing.
That's just hilarious.
But people made jokes about Chris D'Elia and with underage people, and then it turns out that there was this whole scandal with him with underage people. I think it comes down to your character. Jokes are jokes at the end of the day, but it comes down to how you act in the real world. If you really are racist towards people in real life and you get caught on it, or if you're sexist or offensive or just straight up a dickhead, then I think that's where the line is crossed. Because that's where there's a difference between a joke and just you as a person. You know what I'm saying?
See, when it comes down to especially with stand up is more observational humor.
Yeah.
Kind of pointing out the flaws
Right.
and there's things that we overlook a lot.
Yeah.
So let's say you make a joke about let's say Hispanics, right?
Yeah.
And it's something that's normal to us, but from outside looking in, it might be weird,
Yeah.
right? That's funny, right? But if I just come on stage and be like, "Hey, send all of them back to Mexico," like that's not really funny. You're just being a dick on stage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you with the word and term funny, like you said, that's subjective. Like I could find that funny and John can't. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like where I kind of agree with John the character, but I feel like people can also fake character. Like they could fake.
Also, like
Yeah.
for the most part, most people can tell when like if
It's genuine
funny
or not.
That's
or
like
they're
the
they're on some bullshit, or like if there's out there spewing like, "Hey, let's all go kill some Mexicans." Like that's not
So
funny.
as a countermeasure, would you guys want some kind of paper when you go to a comedy club saying, "Hey, just so you know, these jokes are coming up." Not like the actual
No,
jokes.
I think
no.
I
But
think
like,
the
hey,
piece of
like, this is-
paper- I think the piece of paper is the fucking comedy club.
Yeah.
Like you're going
Yeah.
into a comedy club.
Like,
Comedy is historically offensive.
if you go to see a stand-up act and you get mad and offended by the jokes, why the fuck are you there in the first place? That's your fault.
Yeah.
That's
it's like
to-
going to wrestling and being mad that people are wrestling in front of you.
Yeah.
It's like it's a wrestling show. You're gonna see wrestling. If you're gonna go stand-up comedy, you're gonna hear some shit.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
That's like
No one would ever go to a stand-up comedy show if they were just saying, hey, knock knock. You know,
It's like,
No, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like going to see a fucking black Klansman and being offensive. It's like they said some racist shit. It's like, yeah,
that's the
that's the like. There's some the movie. The context is about racism. Comedy is gonna say some fucking outlandish shit, especially Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
His
Like,
history,
Well, also
his
to
whole career.
And
is
like
offensive.
the thing about comedy, the comedy is about to, like you said, it's observational to poke fun of everyday shit or everyday things in life, but also it's supposed to, like Alex said, it pushes that boundary of what's okay to joke about.
Mhm.
You know, some of the things that we find most funny is because it's shocking, because it's like, oh shit, I can't believe you actually said that, right?
Yeah.
But it kind of adds humor to fucking life itself, you know, because
Mhm.
you know, I don't want to get all fucking all like super deep and shit, like, but life in general just kind of sucks
No,
ass,
it does.
you know.
It does.
Mhm.
So like what comedians do is it sheds like this a funny light to things, you know. It's needed.
And the
You know?
funniest light that he shed on this thing is, I think it was either the special or the special before. No, it was this one. He mentioned that the baby shot and killed somebody, and rapped about it at a Walmart.
I think
It was the special.
Yeah, it
he
was-
mentioned
it was the
because that
special.
just happened. Like he talked about the baby getting canceled because he said some
'Cause,
homophobic stuff.
Yeah,
So he mentioned, hey, the baby shot and killed somebody. Nothing happened to him.
Mhm.
But the second he went on stage and said that gay stuff, canceled. Right? Everybody, oh, he lost deals and all that stuff. So he's like, you can literally kill somebody you can kill somebody and proof and evidence and all that good stuff. But the second you say something about gay people, there goes your career.
So
And that was really the point he was making the entire time. It's like, hey, and he makes a lot of comparisons between the LGBTQ movement to the black movement, the African American movement, right?
Mhm.
The old the
Black Lives
disparages
Matter,
there. It's
yeah.
like, yo, why the fuck these guys are just cruising through this movement? They're getting everything they wanted. If you hurt their feelings, there goes your career. You're fucked.
Mhm.
But anything that happens with the Black Lives Matter and anything else on this side, yo, they're fucking fighting tooth and nail for an inch. These guys get 15 miles every time somebody says, hey, you're gay. You know? So it's like he makes a lot of that. That was really the point of him. It wasn't like,
So-
hey, you trans or a bunch of fucking. It wasn't any
Yeah,
of that.
I
It was
saw a
like,
lot of that on
look at-
Twitter.
Look at the differences.
Yeah, so like one of the big things on Twitter, I saw a post where like it was getting a bunch of retweets where it's like they showed pictures of like him making fun of like all of his skits that had to deal with like black culture
Yeah.
and things like that, and they're like, so how come nobody said anything when he did this? Like,
Yeah.
how come nobody was outraged when he did this?
And
Is
he
it
straight
because
said that too.
is it because he's a black comedian and he has the right to make those jokes,
Right.
or you know what I'm saying, like just shit like that where it's like, how come nobody was outraged by this, but
And
as soon as
that
he-
was the point I was making earlier.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, his whole. You're looking to be mad at something right now because it's hot. Right
Mhm.
now, it's cool
like-
to be mad at. Oh my god, this trans person is mad. That's cool
Well,
as fuck. That's back
also,
and forth.
I wouldn't say cool.
No,
I
I'm-
say they have it.
When I say cool, I mean it's right now. That is the hot topic. That is
Mhm.
what is in right now, and I'm saying in regards to just like
What's going on right
exactly.
now? Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Also, a thing that it's always been around since like forever, which it's a little bit more different now, but like everybody finds the joke funny until they start making fun of them of someone that they're a part of.
Mhm.
You know, there's something like, yeah, as you guys know, I like Double Toasted.
Yeah.
Their podcast. They would always get emails like, oh, you know, I enjoy your show, but you start making fun of these people, and I don't like you making fun of these people. and Corey will be like, oh, but so you laughed about all these other people I made fun of,
Right.
but until I got to you, now you got a problem with it, right?
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like that's just how it is. Like, until someone starts making fun of something that you like or something that you're part of, then it becomes the problem, right?
Yeah.
Just like how you guys do. You guys say BioShock sucks to me.
I was lit, Rafa.
Yeah.
I swear
Right?
to you,
Yeah.
I was literally gonna
yeah.
bring that.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's that feel. It's like, but we're mature enough to
I don't
kind
know about
of
mature
we're
enough.
kind of mature enough to be like, at a certain point, be like, hey, it's a game. What do I care?
Right, exactly,
But
exactly.
the initial reaction
Is,
where it's
"Hey."
like, hey, I'm like, you're a diehard BioShock. I'm like, yo, BioShock is a piece of shit game. That first
Yeah.
feeling you get. You know, the fuck, you know, like you're
Right.
invested, you love it.
Right,
These
because-
people don't get past
Because they
that.
feel like
Yeah.
you're attacked. If they feel like everything that you say, everything is personal, and everybody's is feelings. It's about feelings.
Yeah, so the thing is that, like, hey, I like this game, right?
Yeah.
But and he's telling, so Alex telling me that it sucks, that it's a piece of shit. But I know that I don't like. I know that it's good. Like, I know that it's not a piece of shit because I don't like shit. It's good in my
What
mind.
you think?
I mean, I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
that's the way the people think.
Yeah.
Right. So like, oh, I'm part of this group, and they're making fun of it. Oh, well, they're making fun of me because I'm part of this group. That's the mentality that goes on
Yeah.
with it.
It's when it comes to this particular issue, it's not necessarily like I'm a fan of a thing. It has to do with more of self identification.
That's literally what I just. That's my last
Right.
statement,
But
yeah.
and I get that because it's like it's not like I'm making fun of a thing you like. It's like, no, you're making fun of who I am as a person and how I identify.
Right.
And I get that. And I get people wanting to be respected and just to feel included and equal. Part of that, unfortunately, is that you got to get the work.
You
Just
gotta take your
because
licks.
you
Everybody
want
takes your
equal rights,
licks.
and this is the problem I have with certain movements. Just because you want equal rights, that means you're equal to all of it. That means you're
Yeah.
equal to getting the work. You're equal to getting hated on. You're equal to the good parts, to just be yourself. But that means you're also equal to getting made fun of.
Yeah.
Because
also,
why
like-
can everybody else get made fun of but y'all?
Yeah.
Like under stand up, like under comedy itself. Let's say they make fun of, again, let's keep using Hispanics as our point
Because that's
what
where we
are,
identify as.
right? As Hispanics, if someone's out there making Mexican jokes, right? Oh, you're a bean or you're a wetback, whatever. I don't feel attacked personally because that's not a personal attack to me,
Right.
right? Yes, that's a group, that's my people, and those are, slurs and stuff like that. But I don't feel like I'm being attacked as a person,
Right.
I'm more than just a wetback. I'm more than just a beaner, right?
You're okay.
But you are both of those things.
Like those are slurs being used against me, yes.
Let's keep it.
But-
Well, the thing is, like,
But I'm more than that. I'm more than just these words that you throw at me.
I mean, personally, I find them funny, but then once they're used in a malicious way, then
Yeah.
that's when it's just like
That's
that's when I feel a
different.
different type of way.
No,
yeah.
no, let's say
that's the line.
let's say
That's
you
the line
cut
right
me
there.
off on fucking on the road. I'm like, hey, you fucking beaner. I'm saying it to fucking piss
Yeah,
you
that's
off.
what-
That's no
malicious,
longer
yeah.
a stand-up
That's
comedy routine.
different.
That's not comedy.
That's you not on the
That's
mic.
me trying to hurt your fucking
Yeah.
feelings because you cut me off on
Mhm.
traffic.
Yeah.
That's a whole different other thing.
Yeah.
Under comedy, I'm here doing stand up. Hey man, ain't those Mexicans lazy?
Mhm.
It's a bad joke, but I'm trying to make a
Well,
joke.
it's a bad
here.
joke because it's not funny.
But that's what I'm
No,
saying.
but he's just giving that as an example.
Right.
I know, but like you need to work on your material a little bit.
Right.
It's not good.
But me as a person, me as who I am, Rafa here, I've almost 30 years of life here.
Damn old ass.
Right.
Wrinkles.
I'm more than just a lazy Mexican.
Ooh,
Not much more.
ooh. Hold on, wait.
Oh, I'm
I'm
also.
gonna ask
Honduran.
y'all a question, and I'm gonna ask y'all a question.
Okay.
Here we go.
And let's all be self-aware at this
Okay.
moment, right? On topic.
Self-aware. Self-aware.
Let's be self-aware.
self-aware.
Huh? Y'all know you.
Yeah.
What are your triggers? Like, what are the ones, the jokes or whatever that get you?
Offended?
Yeah. Like, cause okay, so for example, like Dave Chappelle with LGBTQ, these people didn't like the transgender jokes, right?
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Where is your line? Where you not that you get offended or like you get pissed
in the
off?
veil of like a comedy routine, like
Or-
if somebody on stage, or because I mean somebody's just sitting there, hey, fuck you, bitch, you have titties and you're talking shit to me and you're fat and like all that, like that's gonna piss me off at some point, But if it's a routine,
Well, first, I guess. Well, for routine, I don't think there's really there hasn't been. I can't say there's never because I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't say I've ever been offended by a comedy routine.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But I'm saying, like, what is your personal triggers that would like piss you off, and not like
Like if someone's bullying me, like it don't matter what they
but
say.
like, obviously at some point someone just badgering you, you're gonna get pissed off.
Yeah, I'm about to say, my trigger is somebody coming directly for me at me. That's how I'm just like, yo, what the fuck, bro?
Like if I'm at a show and the stand-up comedy, like the comedians look at, hey Alex, you're a fucking bitch.
Damn, he knows you by name too.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way I'll be ever offended by a show. Like if he's
Right,
talking
right.
shit to me directly, but if like. You know, I grew up. I had man titties growing up, right? And so a stand-up comedian goes up and goes like, "Hey, man, these man titty motherfuckers," and I'm not gonna be like,
I'm not
Twitter, you know.
I'm not saying like for comedy routine. I'm just like as a person, like what are some things that like you just like? Okay, I'm not like. I just don't-
nothing.
Like you're not. There's not a single thing that you're just like.
No.
I will not stand for that.
No.
You're wearing one, and I call cap. I think.
No,
that's just
as long as it's not personal to like obviously personal jokes to me. Like if they're making fun of me, my family, my friends.
I'm about to say, yeah, that's
that's
like
okay.
shit
Well,
that-
that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
well-
But like, there's never a thing that
like a general,
I'm about to say general
umbrella?
topic. No,
I'm not
No.
talking in form of comedy. Just like, what are your triggers?
the same if they're talking shit about me,
I mean,
my friends, my family. Like,
I was gonna say like I don't like people talking down to me like if I'm less than
Okay,
human.
that's what I mean. Like,
so you're asking what the fuck pisses us off? That's what you're.
what are
asking?
your triggers? Yeah.
But who the fuck? I thought we were talking about like comedy, like art.
Well,
Like,
no,
that's
'cause-
not art. Like, hey, Rafa,
Well,
you're
no,
a fucking garbage person. That's
well,
not art.
well, no, because he was talking about like just a straight up just offending somebody, and I'm like, well, what offends you?
I don't get offended. I get pissed off. Like, you make me mad, but I'm not like, oh, I'm so
Well, I mean,
offended
wouldn't that-
right now.
wouldn't
Well,
that be you
that's
because you're
just
getting
like the
offended?
byproduct of being offended.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna do that thing that I do. Go ahead.
He's gonna look up.
I'm gonna look up the no.
That's the
The
shit that-
definition
that's the
is
shit that
important.
pissed me
The
off.
definition is
That
important.
shit right there actually
Right
triggers
there.
me when Alex.
yeah, no. For me, it's like I don't like people talking. Well, like you said, family, friends, me.
Not just in general for everyone.
But yeah,
Okay,
some people
so
don't give a shit about their families. And shit.
That's
Offended.
true.
It's a resentful or annoyed, typically as a result of a perceived insult.
Well,
No,
So I don't like being insulted.
You're offended.
Bro. Well, dude, nobody likes being fucking
Yeah.
insulted.
Yeah.
Like, that's
yeah,
not a comedy
you
show.
and your
Like,
man titties, Alex. You and your
I'd be
man
okay if
titties.
somebody like bags on me, but like one of those like comedy like routines where it's like they're just pointing out different people that look funny or some shit like that. Like that, I'd be like, all right, whatever, bro.
well, you went to that show.
yeah, that's what
you
I
know?
came
You
to
got
this.
to work on
Yeah.
like,
but like, there's
you
shit
got
like that. Like those are the only situations where I'm like, all right, cool, bag on me. But like when like there's situations where like in our group chats where like people just randomly come at each other,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Well, that's the point of
Well,
that.
that's what I'm getting at.
Here's the thing. Like, as far as like, for example, with the LGBTQ community and the transgender people specifically, if somebody makes trans jokes, 90% of them people are taking that bullet. Like, oh, I'm offended right now. He said trans. I don't have anything like that.
Yeah.
Where if somebody makes jokes that are not personally to me or my family, and like, let's say they're making fun of Hector. Well, no, that's my friend. But let's just say they're making.
Hector, you heard where
Like,
you're
fuck
at.
that guy,
you
yeah.
said-
No,
you
but
heard
outside of the friend
you
group.
heard where you're at.
Understood.
Here's a circle.
Outside of
I'm
my
an
friends and
employee.
if friends and family, let's just
No.
example Hector.
But my thing is just like that did sound fucked up.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sorry.
did sound
But
fucked up.
like if somebody's making like he didn't target a specific transgender person and say, hey, you this that joke. If somebody did those jokes of, like to stuff that I like or stuff like that, I won't get offended. That's just who I am. Aside from personal insults, that's the only thing.
That I'm the same way. Like I don't find any type of humor offensive.
I laugh. I laugh a lot at it.
Yeah.
Especially if I find stuff funnier when I relate to it. I do that, or I've seen that, or I'm a part of that. Like
I am this way.
Yeah,
I actually really like
Because
Hispanic
I do like
jokes.
those,
Exactly.
Hispanic jokes are fucking
Like,
hilarious
see what we
to me.
say about Carlos Mencia, whatever your
Yeah.
opinion of him, but his career was built off of making fun of Hispanic culture, and the reason why that blew up was because we find that shit funny. It's like, hey, we do those things, or
Yeah.
hey, I know it's my mom, it's my aunt,
Yeah.
whatever. So it's like, personally, for me, personal insults aside, I don't have anything like, oh man, he made fun of Puerto Ricans. Here we go, But if somebody's sitting there on stage, like, hey, Puerto Ricans are a bunch of fucking illegal motherfuckers, stuff like that. Like that's not jokes.
You'd be
anymore.
like,
I was about to say that's probably if it gets to the point where it gets offensive or like they're actually attacking that culture. That's for me. Like when it's like Hispanic jokes that's all game for me. Whatever, do whatever you want because I find it funny. But like once they're like, actually targeting people, that's when I'm like,
so
no.
like
I don't care about that shit. I don't care. You can sit here and talk about Mexicans all day. Like I wouldn't give a fuck.
Right.
Like if you like, for example, this is a whole different situation. But like, there's one time I was on the bus, right, and the Hispanic lady was on the phone. She was speaking Spanish, right, and this one dude started yelling at her like, "Hey, this is America. You speak English here, whatever," being an asshole towards her, right? And we were just kind of ignoring him, and she was telling him to shut up, like "Cállate, cállate," like in Spanish, and then he got up and started getting in her face. Then it's like, okay,
Yeah.
Well,
this
yeah,
guy's
that's-
getting
yeah.
violent, right? But if he just sat there and been like, we speak English here. We just kept ignoring them because nobody really gives a fuck about that shit.
Yeah.
The problem. I'm not gonna try to get canceled here, but the problem is
Here we go.
Oh,
is
shit.
that
Get ready.
a lot of
mute.
Somebody get the time
the
ready
thing is
quick.
especially it feels like there's a disconnect between us and more the younger group, right?
Yeah.
There's a younger group. I feel like they're more entitled and they feel like they're special in that we have to watch our mouths and whatever we say because
Oh, no, I agree. Never mind.
No, I'm
it-
agreeing.
never mind.
It's gonna
Let me
it's gonna offend them and shit. And it's like
Let me loosey goosey a
And
little
it's
bit.
like-
I'm with that.
they don't the younger crowd, they don't know how easy they have it, right?
Yes.
And we had it pretty easy ourselves. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna sit here and say we
Oh no, of course.
right, but the thing is that
Right, we didn't have to mine no coal mines and
Right,
I didn't have to get
we're not
asthma.
there's
from
no
the mo-
we're not
like
doing
the,
child labor and smoking
Yeah.
cigarettes when we're 11, right?
Yeah.
But
You guys didn't do that?
no, we didn't. But
It's like pussies.
we're at a point where things are so handed to us and so safe now.
Yeah.
Everything's just like that. We can get it. We're at a point where life is really fluffed up, really fluffy for us, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, wait, real quick. I'm gonna bring in my personal work without naming names or anything like that
Okay.
to touch on that.
Yeah.
And a minor subject of the school system is failing us, and here's why. For that reason in particular, I'm not gonna name exactly what I do, but let's just say I tutor kids, right?
Right.
So there's one kid in particular that I tutor. He's not very good at math, and he does special ed. When I was taught at his age math is math. Math is math, right?
Yeah.
You're right or you're wrong,
Right.
That's math.
and you learn it correct.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you think about it. It doesn't, especially with math, because math is definitive.
Yeah.
The answer is the answer. The method is the method. That's it. These kids, especially this one in particular that I work with, because I am a tutor, but I'm there with a teacher, special ed teacher. We were learning fractions, right? And
Yeah, them bitches hard.
Preface that you're not teaching special needs students.
no,
Okay.
they're not. They have no mental disabilities
Okay.
or anything like that. These are just kids who just
Yeah.
struggle with subjects, and they need a little
They just
extra
need
help.
a little extra.
Yeah, a little
help.
extra kick in
They
the
just
ass.
need a little. They need a little extra oomph, right?
Yeah.
And so when I was taught, and all of us, when we were younger, right was right, wrong was wrong. Math is math, right?
Yeah.
So we're learning fractions, and there's a method to adding and subtracting fractions to turning mixed numbers into proper, whatever the hell, right? So this kid obviously doesn't give a shit and all this other stuff. And so at this point, the teachers and everybody, because he doesn't give a shit, are specially tailoring math and shit to him because he doesn't give a shit about the material that's for everyone.
No.
So he was doing a test or something like that, and in the middle of the test are teaching him how to do it. The test is to figure out if you know how to do it.
That's to test you.
To test you.
It's in the-
So I'm over here. He's getting the answers wrong. He's doing something. Because when you add or subtract fractions and you do all the shit with the lowest common denominator, what the fuck, you only add the numerators, right?
Yeah.
Because you've already made the denominators the same.
Yeah.
Right.
This kid kept adding and multiplying the denominator.
He'll just smack him in the back of the head.
So I'm like,
Every time
and
he does
so
something wrong, he'll learn.
me, because I was taught that way, I tell him try again, and I'm not here to give him the answer. I'm here to make sure you did something wrong. Where did you fuck up?
Yeah.
Because that's how I was taught. He's sitting there not knowing a clue, and the teacher looks at me, stops me, and says, "Leave it be." She says, "Leave it be." He writes what he writes. Leave it alone. And she writes it, and then she says, "I just wanted him to do the work," and she'll give him points just based off
you can't
if
do
he
that.
did the work or not.
That's a
not if it's
participation
right,
trophy, baby. You can't
Not
do
if
that.
it's wrong, not correct or off, just that he did it. And I'm like,
He's getting points for effort.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not how it is. This whole remote learning, these kids, some of them didn't do any of the homework. We can't give them F's or D's. They get a passing grade regardless
See-
for effort. And I'm like,
Oh
that's
my
not.
God.
I'm like, yo, you are setting all of these future kids up for failure. Like, that's
yeah.
not how the world
That's
works.
crazy.
Yeah, that is a.
And
I
think
wish.
that's why we have like
Fuck.
this offensive culture where everybody's like, I'm a special, like, No, the fuck you're not.
Nobody's special.
You're not special.
One person
Nobody's
except
special.
Michael Jackson, he was special.
That man,
and
boy.
he gone.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like nobody's special.
Maybe Will Smith.
That's how life is.
Maybe Will Smith. No,
Maybe
Will
Will
Smith is
No,
Okay, Will
adult
Smith.
Will Smith, cowboy Will Smith, alien fighter Will Smith,
Yeah.
alien Will Smith. Was he alien? And after
Yeah, why not?
he's like
Fuck it.
What are you saying to me?
He's
Will Smith special.
Oh yeah, he is special. I agree.
Special man.
But no, I agree. They're creating a culture of a bunch of entitled pussy boys.
No, we're not created. It's already here.
No, yeah, but it's getting worse.
But you just heard what I just told you.
We think the people that are doing this shit now. Imagine the fucking generation that these people raise. That is gonna be the worst generation of all time. Like the human race ends with them. That's it.
I'm just saying.
But
I feel like
this generation isn't raised by us, right? The one that's currently happening.
Yeah.
They are raised
No,
by us.
this was us.
Yeah.
Seriously?
This
We
was
are- these
our
are
our
kids
kids.
are the dumbasses that are out now. And
You know-
our generation. No, we're not our generation. Not
a couple, like we're like a couple in.
I think
your
we're right.
generation or
Our
a bunch
generation.
of idiots.
us.
No, it's
No,
your generation.
yeah.
No, we're a different generation than John.
No, but
No, you're
So
not.
it's y'all.
We're still,
It's
we're
you guys.
still in
Cut
the
off.
same age group, guys.
We're in the age. Yeah. So there's two talks here. There's age groups, but then there's also generations. I think we are a different generation than him.
I need to
That's-
I think
that's
I'm
not
Gen
what-
Z.
Do you
or
guys
some
do you
shit.
guys know that we're in the minority here? Most people around our age already have kids.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
That's
Bunch of
so
idiots.
strange.
it is.
That's so strange.
At my age right now, me as a 29-year-old man, I cannot see myself raising a human being. Why? Because they'll come out like those blob ass idiots there. Because I'm like, I don't want to hear your mouth. Your job, not you. I don't want to hear your mouth. Here's a fucking tablet. You know, and what are they gonna see on the internet? More of that fucking bullshit.
And that's what I hate. That's the
And then the school system doing that, I would be up in there immediately.
I'll be really mad.
Dude,
I'd be like, hey,
I'll
what do
be
you see my
When
kid?
were you born?
fucking Mad.
92.
I was born. We were
I'll
born
be
in
really
95.
fucking mad. Like, how are you just gonna give him points for trying? Like,
Nope. We're all of us are Gen Y.
You're still
We're
Gen
all
Y?
in the same Gen
What
Y.
is that? When is
Are
that
we-
generation?
It's
Millennials?
81 to 96.
Okay,
What
you were
are
born
we?
90. Okay, gotcha.
We were both born in 95.
Are we? We're not millennials.
We're the same.
We're Gen Y.
Millennials is
Which is millennials?
Oh, okay.
Millennials is Gen Y.
why don't even try?
Because
Why?
it's the baby boomers from 46 to 64.
Yeah.
And then it's Gen X, which is 65 to 80. And then it's 81 to 96, which is millennials.
That's us.
Which is us.
Yeah.
And then 97 and on is Gen Z, which would be, it would consider my brother, who is
Gen Y.
far from fucking being Gen Z.
right.
My brother's more millennial, because I essentially
He's not
he
that
was
far off
raised
from
with
you.
me.
No?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not that far off from you.
And then my sister is a mix of millennial and Gen Z. She's not the overly sensitive, but she has had the moments where like me and my brother say something, and she's like, "Hey, that's not okay to say," and I'm like, "We've been saying this shit for half of your fucking lifespan."
Right.
Like,
I hate it. I'm just. And
but she
like,
has corrected us before. She's like, "We're the home, okay, but don't be saying that shit outside." And she just kind of telling us like, "Hey, you will get looked at like
Yeah.
in a negative light," but at the same time, it's like she's still saying like, "That's not okay to."
Yeah, suck my
there's
dick.
certain things I understand, right?
No,
Like I
that's
understand.
not-
I was like,
I was like,
hold
you
on.
better.
No, that's just-
I got mad for a tiny second. I was like, hey, yo.
He was just. He was
people
hanging
in
up.
general
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
at
yeah,
you
okay, okay.
sideways
Not at
for
your
saying
sister.
shit.
Yeah, that was
See,
a,
but
that was
like-
a general suck my dick.
I was like,
Like,
No, of course, no. I would never disrespect your family.
I know.
I was
Yeah, no.
like, no.
I'm not with him.
No,
I'm
no,
not with
no.
him.
I don't know him.
See,
but like,
that's a personal attack.
That's a
You're okay to get mad at that.
Yeah, Hector, you're fine.
Yeah, no, but
But,
yeah,
like,
that's like,
that's kind of what I'm like. When it comes to certain things, I understand that some things that were back in the day, we can't say things today for obvious reasons. Like things aren't as cool as it was before. I get that, right? And y'all three know that I yell half the time because it's
Yeah.
like these are the times.
That's
we
all
kind of
you
have
yell.
to play the game,
Fuck
Right.
the game.
right?
Hmm.
But when it comes to creating these type of people, because like we have to keep it this way, because like obviously there's an offensive culture out there, and even with companies and stuff like that, they try not to be offensive. They want to be as inclusive as possible,
Right.
so it doesn't hurt their bottom line. I get that. But when it comes to literally manufacturing this mindset that everything is all right, that doesn't matter what you do as long as you try, or you are entitled, like, yes, you're entitled to your opinion, but you're also entitled to get offended.
See,
And it's like you have to get offended. Like that's just part of life.
See, the thing is that like I feel like when it comes to comedy, it kind of has, it gets a pass in a sense.
It should be immune.
where anything and everything could be joked on, right? But outside of comedy, just everyday life, I understand if I'm not walking around saying the F word or saying the N word, things like that, right? Like I'm just walking down the block with Alex. I'm like, hey, look at them Fs over there. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you know, that's society where it is right now. That's not okay to do.
Right.
But if you go to a stand-up special and the guy has a joke where they use the F word in there, or they make fun of trans people, or they make fun of black people saying the N word, under the setting of comedy itself, this is stand-up. We're here to listen to jokes, and some of these jokes might push the boundary, might be offensive, but we understand as adults that this is under comedy itself.
Yeah.
But
right?
then don't you run into the problem of like, hey, you're white, you shouldn't be saying.
Well, he wasn't saying like, hey, white people can go on stage and say the N word all day. That's not what he was saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm just saying that, like,
although sometimes that's hilarious.
under.
I laugh at that.
Now, if
Like,
a white comedian wants to go up there and start throwing out the N word, but with under jokes, not like the guy from Kramer, the Kramer guy.
Yeah.
If it works inside the joke, then like Louis C.K. says the N word.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he says some really funny shit. Right. Again, it's under the comedy. You're there for a stand-up show. You're there to laugh. Right. It's in this bubble of comedy.
I don't know. I feel like when it gets to that point, you're like teetering hard as fuck.
Well, no, but again, that's the whole. Hold on,
raised.
one point, and then I'll give it to you.
Okay.
But that's the whole point of comedy, is to push the boundaries. That word itself is a boundary.
Yeah.
So only certain people can say it, and then some people, and I'm sad that I'm bringing Tekashi into this, but some people who are not black can say that word, and it's totally cool.
Yeah.
Tekashi 6ix9ine, his whole career is that word.
Well,
that's
real
all
quick,
he does. He yells that,
I'm okay with Tekashi saying it because Fat Joe says it,
and that's another person.
and you know what? And I'm not going to tell Fat Joe to not say it. First off, I don't know Fat Joe, but I would love to.
I'd be careful
But-
with
but
that.
that-
I'm
but that's-
okay
that's-
with them saying
But
it.
that's
Don't
what
say
that's
that.
what I'm saying. It's
I'm
like,
okay with Fat Joe saying it.
but that's part of the to push boundaries. The whole thing of art. It's like, yeah, that word itself is a boundary, and the rules for that word with the A is
Right.
it's very
Loosey-goosey.
teeter-totty. So
Yeah.
some people can say it, some people can't, and it also depends on the context. Context is the most important thing. His music, Tekashi again, his music, the people he was around when he's saying the words. You're not really gonna go up to Tekashi. Well, now you might, but back then you're not gonna go up to Tekashi. Hey, you can't really say that word right now because you know what, you'll get shot.
They'd open the door, I think.
Who opened the door?
Sounds like your dad.
Does it?
That sounded crazy. Hold on, keep going.
Check the cameras.
Yeah, take the cameras.
Yeah, take the camera.
But that's my thing. It's like that's the whole point. To say, like, so Louis C.K. when he said Louis C.K. is the whitest dude on the planet, right? So white, whatever. He's white. So he says it in the context of a show. It's absolutely fine. No one's like, hey, cancel Louis C.K. because you're the N word. No, they cancel him because he beat off on himself in front of people. You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
So that's the whole point of art. That's the whole point of that, like
Okay.
to push boundaries. Again, Kramer, best example, because he got on stage and just N word and hard R the fucking crowd to death.
And he doubled down on it too. Like everybody was already offended, and he was like, "Motherfucker!" And he did it.
Y'all
again.
a bunch of. He was saying some not jokes.
Now how
They were not jokes. It was
How,
just-
yeah, it's that he's on the.
They were not jokes. It was just saying
It's
that.
it's that. We're fine. What about when Vince McMahon said it?
I laughed really hard at that.
I laughed.
He
but
said it as a joke, but
How we feel about that?
I don't know, man.
Wait, here's why I give Vince McMahon a pass on that, because Booker T was right there.
I would like to. What?
Booker T did give it a pass.
Booker
Yeah.
T was on there and he was part of the joke.
I would.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it was just him saying it to John Cena
No,
and that was
well-
the end of it, like,
Well, hold up, wait. He was wearing a do rag.
this
Yeah.
part of the joke.
And like, do you think that Booker T had a say in this? Because you know,
John.
you know Vince. Well, Vince McMahon, he runs a.
Well, you know better than most of us. Like, how does that? How does that
Vince
shit work?
McMahon, at the end of the day, has the final word.
Yeah.
But I feel like with something like that, he would have listened to Booker T.
You think so?
I think
Yeah.
so.
You don't think he would have strong armed Booker T into this? It's like, hey, I want you to be a part of this. I'm wearing a do rag. You don't think Booker T's like, that's fucking offensive? It's like,
I
oh,
don't-
if you want to work in this goddamn business, you better
I
be
don't
cool
think so
with it.
because like Booker T ended up leaving to go to TNA. Just I'm not gonna get into all this shit, but then he ended up coming back to WWE, and he's really cool with them.
Okay.
He's also an analyst on there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like he has a good relationship with him.
Yeah. So it's like,
So do rag,
I don't know. I feel like
do rag McMahon is fine.
I still think it's
I
not
don't know.
okay.
I mean-
he should not have said that joke. Well,
I
granted,
found it hilarious.
people. I mean,
think
no,
it's funny
that shit was
as-
funny.
But
You
that's,
think
but
John
that's where the
Cena has a
differences are.
problem?
That's
Yeah.
what subjective is.
But like, for example, actually, Ninja recently on like
He did it
the
again?
He said it
no
again?
the Courage and Nature show, like the podcast that they have. he straight up said like, hey, like at a certain point I needed to change how I am to be more family friendly. He's like I gained so much more money from becoming family friendly and like sensitive to the words and shit like that. And he's like, he even mentioned, he's like, you could literally YouTube Ninja says this and you'll find a bunch of stuff. He's like, I probably incriminated myself in a bad, like in a way, but it's like, you can literally just Google all these people say all these foul words and like, there's literally comps of him saying words he should not be saying.
I just imagine like even yelling at people, like the meme of him like yelling at kids, like the fuck you said to me.
No, like that's not even that bad, but I'm saying like literally saying the soft A word, singing it to like, you know, to Drake's song, and then him saying like saying, I think he dropped like the F word too, like while he was playing Halo and shit. He's like, and even then like all these gamers and streamers are like, yo, I know for a fact they used to say some foul shit back in the day. Oh yeah, and it was because like that is culture.
That was the culture.
But like people will also say like, oh well, and it's hilarious when I see this on Twitter, but I mean it's kind of true. Like if people would not survive in the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies.
They would not.
Bro, I used to be called Hard R. Like, literally, before Party Chat. Back in the day, you younglings. Before Party Chat existed, before they had, I think we had private chat. So if you wanted to talk to your homies, you had to be in the lobby.
You had to be in the lobby.
With everybody else.
Yep. You had to get that work.
And the Wild West isn't even cutting close to what that lobby was. You would have all kinds of ages, all kinds of people, all genders, mainly male, talking all kinds of
saying
shit.
some of the most foul things you've ever heard.
They R word your mom. They, you know, you're a FN. You're all this hard R. Like, dude, all the words that people cringe at now. If anybody, if Dave Chappelle said, well, no, he says all the words. But if anybody says these words, you know, canceled immediately. Career over. You're dead. All of them. Modern Warfare 2 lobby.
Like
in one go. And it's not even. And it's not even like
the PewDiePie bridge. But like
a million,
all of it, like every single person in that lobby of PUBG was on the bridge with PewDiePie. Yeah. It's like that. I remember, and you had to have learned, like you had to have developed thick skin.
Yeah,
and it's like now it's like thick skin is it's questionable. Like you shouldn't have it. We should just not say it.
You
and it's
really
like,
should have. Well, at least back in those days, you had 3 options: have thick skin, be able to fucking. Like,
give it back.
No, give it back, or like completely shit on them in the game. Yeah. Those are your 3 options.
You either had to either had to get good, not say anything, and allow it, or
you better be better at talking shit.
You do it.
Option 4: turn off your Xbox.
Right, mute everybody in the lobby,
or just don't play.
Mute the lobby. Yeah,
that reminded me. We were playing. I think it was Pavlov in VR.
Oh yeah,
and that video.
We put out a video on GEEKJAR. This is before your time, Hector.
Oh boy,
this dude.
And I want you to know this is one of my favorite videos.
This video made me laugh so hard. It's about the N word.
Yeah.
We didn't say it, but we were in a public lobby, and somebody. It was like I'm like 87.9% sure that this dude was a white kid.
I am 100% sure.
But I don't know,
1,000% sure that was a white kid.
Sometimes there's a white voice.
No.
I'm sorry for bothering you. You changed your mind.
True.
So this dude, out of nowhere, we're talking, and he just says, "Hey, shut up, fucking," and then he just repeated it over the hard R over and over and over, like
bop,
dude, and back to back, dude, and it was like the shock because nothing led up to that happening to us.
Imagine you're just enjoying your day, and out of nowhere, loud as shit, you just hear someone just back to back, not saying anything else. This kid didn't say anything else. He contributed to any kind of conversation. That's what we did.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
We said because we were we had to set up where somebody's playing in the middle and the other two are in the back. Like backup singers, by the way. We were in the background. We were in the background, fucking 2 mic stands.
I can't stress enough that those videos were my favorite. Like I cannot stress enough those are my favorite.
But so whoever, I forgot who was playing it, but you just heard
it was.
It was me.
And then,
no. It happened to me first, no?
Yeah.
And then Rafa was playing. I left. I was like, after that one, I don't want to play anymore. We gave it to Rafa. It was Rafa's turn.
Yeah.
He was doing abysmal. And then
this one he shit on the floor.
And then out of nowhere, the kid came back
in a whole different lobby.
In a whole different game lobby, and again just started doing it. And Rafa was stuck because the lobby glitched.
Yeah, I couldn't leave the lobby.
And so Rafa,
I think I remember this video now.
So Rafa's like, I can't leave.
I remember it now.
That was one of the funniest moments.
Like nowadays, I don't. Well, I never would really get offended about jokes. I mean, the only time I really would get offended about like jokes or people making like cracking jokes was when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I really didn't know who I was, and I was really insecure with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know, like that's when I would get like really offended.
Yeah.
But like now, like things don't really don't bother me like that because like
You hit something that you didn't even know you hit. That's crazy because that's true. Whenever you don't know who you are, you're offended by fucking everything. When I was growing up, same thing. But now that I know who Alex is, same thing. You know who Rafa is. You know who John is. Hector. You know who Hector is.
things
don't bother you,
Right.
Bro,
It's
for like 80% of my life, I've been known as Little Alex. Like,
I mean,
Little
you are.
Alex.
He still gets
Yeah,
mad
yeah,
though.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
yeah.
that shit. That shit used to
Big
fuck. That
man.
shit used to offend me. That shit. That shit.
That
shit triggered me, dude. Because I'm like, because
I used to say that shit.
it happened all the
It's
time.
okay.
And like that legit offended me because for the longest time I was like, imagine just like trying to figure yourself out, and like most of your time spending it with your big brother. So
And
like
you're branded.
the thing that you know as life or whatever. I hung out with Alex all the time. So then everybody just saying like, you're not you. You're just
You're so small
another.
version of-
You're not yourself. So it's just like trying to learn who you are. You're just like,
Well, fuck it.
I am me. Damn it, I'm not him. I'm
Yeah.
me.
I want to be a
Definitely.
French fry.
So like,
you Big John, Big John,
Yeah.
Big John.
so now,
bother
so
me.
like now I'm
Big
like
John.
maybe I want to be a French fry.
yeah.
But like now as you get older, you like you figure yourself out, and so like those things don't really offend me anymore. It's like I know
Yeah.
who I am. Like
Yeah,
I know what I
exactly.
like.
Alex.
I'm Little Alex. And like there's stuff, and like yes, obviously there's still stuff that me and Alex enjoy. Like obviously we have a lot in common because again we grew up together, whatever stuff
Right.
like that. But like I know who I am as a person, where
Right.
those jokes just don't offend me anymore.
Exactly.
And it's like that's just you have to go through that. That's part of life. You have to learn that.
That's how you learn who you are.
That's
Yeah.
how, and so you cannot censor these things that are offensive to these people. That's how you learn.
Honestly, bring back bullying.
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't know about that,
I would
I don't
not
know,
have
man.
said that.
but well, the one thing I was gonna say was
I
that
mean, are
like,
you sure? Think about it.
Bring back
Really
witches.
think about it. Witches?
Bring back
I'm talking
witches
about like
too.
good old
Salem
bullying,
too.
not
Let's
this
do that.
new like
I just thought it
kill
was some
yourself.
foul. Never mind.
I was gonna say like now.
It's okay.
Last time you-
Hey,
last
this
time-
is a comedy show. You're all right.
No,
We got the brick
no.
wall.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still
Safe,
gonna
safe,
censor it,
safe.
but go ahead. Time
No,
quick.
you know that joke where it's like the woman, she's like the gay kid you bullied into committing suicide.
Oh, I
Could
guess
have
we'll
cured
never know.
cancer. And then the Kanye West, I guess we'll never know. This shit is always hilarious to me.
See, funny.
Hey man.
Brick wall.
Or
Comedy show.
you could have been a serial killer.
True. You could have saved the world.
You could have been
saved the
the,
school.
you could have been the next Hitler. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
Or you could have been a fucking nobody like everybody else.
That's more likely.
Yikes.
That's more likely.
Oh
hey
my
man,
That's
look,
not a yikes. That's a.
that's
That's
I'm
a
a
fact.
somebody.
That's a fact. Everybody, most people.
I'm a
You're
somebody.
not nobody.
See,
I'm a
You're the
nobody.
sun.
You're a millionaire.
And I give you light and warmth.
and vitamin
Exactly.
D.
Oh, he gives me plenty of vitamin
UV
D.
rays.
That
Some
gives you
meat
cancer.
rays?
Okay.
UV
UV rays.
Oh, I heard some meat rays.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
I would hold your hand, but my hands are sweaty.
You clamming? Wait.
Stop.
All right. Is it
I was
an hour?
Almost.
so what I was gonna say is that like so things don't offend me now, but hearing some of the jokes from back in the day, I do get like I do react to
PTSD?
it, like shocked to it.
Yeah.
I was watching the first season of Archer. I'm gonna rewatch Archer all over again.
I'm gonna do that too. Actually, that's a good idea.
And-
I don't care for Archer.
I think it was like episode 6 or episode 5. They did so, yeah, you can censor this if you want, John. They did a joke,
Yeah.
You
okay,
should definitely.
and it
censor
fucking blew my mind.
that.
I started laughing really
What
hard.
was
I
the
was just,
timestamp so I could?
53:30.
I don't have my phone.
yeah, but like I don't remember the exact joke, but it was like Archer being Archer.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, worst case scenario. You can censor this, John, again, if you feel like
God
if it's
damn
too
it,
much.
He
wait a
has to,
minute.
not if you feel like he has
Wait
to.
a fucking
but-
minute.
But like
Wait.
I'll tell you what it is.
53:30. Okay. Well, that was the first one.
it's like Lana, which is another character show. She's a
Man hands.
man hands, yeah. She's on a special mission or whatever, and then they're like, and I forgot the name of the guy, Siegel or whatever his name is.
Oh, fuck.
Cyril?
Cyril.
There you go.
Cyril. He's like, she's trying to call her, and she's not answering her phone. He's like, why is she not answering her phone? And then Archer's like, well, worst case scenario, she's getting on the boat or something like.
What's the
Jesus
some, like,
Christ.
what's the
crazy-
54:20.
Like
What?
something like something crazy, like, oh, maybe she's getting They're like worst case scenario, she's getting or something like that.
54-26.
Yeah, sorry, Zach.
I'm saying
Sorry.
it over
Yeah, I
and
know.
over.
And like everyone was like, "Whoa!" Like they reacted like how I reacted. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, and then I was just like, "I said worst case scenario." Archer, dude.
What was the
It's all right. It's on the same sentence.
Yeah,
like,
just
it's
keep
the
listening.
Same breath.
Yeah, and that shocked me. I was like, "Yo!"
But that's the point of that.
and
joke.
that was on TV. That was FX.
And what's funny about that is when you saw it the first time growing up, you were so used to shock humor, you probably didn't think twice about
like
that. joke.
I'm pretty sure I giggled at it, but
Yeah.
like
But now
I was laughing.
I'm
like,
pretty
in
sure like it was
shock.
still shocking. Like it was still shocking back then, but it's not in the same vein as now. It's like that we have to censor.
no,
You see
that
what I'm
was
saying?
saying?
Modern Warfare 2 lobby days. You
Yeah.
didn't even think twice about that joke.
No, like
I'm pretty
probably
sure. Like,
laughed.
I'm pretty sure I thought it was like or like Jesus.
But now it's
But,
like,
like, now it's like-
yo.
I was just like, yo,
Like you said that shit back to back, and I said, "Stop
yeah.
saying it."
It's a word.
Moral of the story is,
It's
man.
just a word.
Moral of the story is, man. You
Bring
gotta
back bullying.
Get good.
get good.
So maybe
Yeah,
maybe the inside of a locker is good for some of y'all.
Get good at cold
Maybe
war.
some
Did
of
we hit the
y'all.
hour already?
No, we're like
Oh,
5 minutes.
how much time do we have left?
Like
5
5
minutes.
minutes.
Maybe some of y'all need to be in the locker to think about stuff. you
Right.
know?
To really you figure who yourself.
Really think about who you are. You know, maybe that's all you need. Maybe when that underwear is deep in your ass.
I can't get behind the whole
When
bullying
the
thing.
underwear is deep in
Now,
your
obviously,
ass.
that's a joke.
That is a
joke.
No one should get bullied. No one deserves to go.
Yeah.
through that. Obviously, that is a joke.
No,
But some of y'all,
I am offended.
I can't wait for them to clip that, and then
right.
GEEKJAR's never gonna
Yeah.
fly because of that. now.
Banned,
The way this is going, you just never gonna.
canceled.
bro. This,
That's
Dude,
also true.
this man has been saying shit for years. Like
Actually,
he said worse.
it's actually a pretty. If people
You
were
are
saying,
painting a terrible picture of Alex.
No, I paint my own damn picture,
Bro,
If-
Alex is his own artist. He did
I-
self
When are you gonna do
portraits.
the reaction to our videos?
I want. Actually, I should do that. I think I'm gonna do it this week.
Because
But I'm scared.
Oh, is that the first video that you had?
I think I'm gonna
That's
come back
really good.
watching because I mean I remember the video yesterday and this is gonna cut me off, but it's fine, bro. We did a video. I think it was on the damn Skippy. I didn't watch it yet. I just remembered it where we were insinuating a blowjob the entire video.
yes, we were.
The entire video. And then it ended with actually giving a blowjob, and it like not.
I
not for real.
remember this.
Right?
Oh my god! And it ended with fucking Rafa. Then he like,
I had mayo in my mouth.
and he
Bro,
said,
it was-
"Hey,"
Yeah,
or like, "Sup."
Like, it was
Yeah.
cool, dude. I don't.
What?
Dude,
the
I remember that
fuck?
being super outlandish back then. Like, I remember
Yeah.
back then. I was like, "Why are we doing
Well,
this?"
it's funny
Like,
because the entire time we were all filming it, I think everybody was like, "Why are we making this fucking video right now?" And I
Well,
didn't
for that
your
weird-
brain baby is what
yeah,
the fuck it was.
I was going for
Yeah.
that shock humor.
that was his idea, right?
Yeah, it was. And it's funny because he was the one sucking dick. So I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong?"
That's
with you?
crazy how you're the writer, director, all that stuff, and you wrote yourself. It's like I'm sucking dick.
Sucking that dick,
Bro,
That's it.
it's funny.
It's in
Sucking
there.
that dick.
I'm giving that goddamn
Yeah.
like,
And the
Gok,
video-
gok,
And the
10,000.
video ended legit like in the worst cut of all time. It with sound effects. It was the word that, and then it cut to was, and then me, hard cut to me saying gay.
Yeah.
Wow,
dude. Yeah.
Dude, there's this one video. It's a Craig and Mike video. This is what I'm telling you about. Where
I haven't seen. I don't remember it.
because
Well, say
you
it.
guys know that it takes me forever to say my lines in anything, right?
Oh yeah.
At the end of the video, it was a bunch of outtakes of me, of those saying a bunch of random lines, and then I walk into the room and I'm like, well, "You guys are a bunch of fucking homos," just like that. So I was like, "Yo, I said that shit," and we just left. It's online right now. We could go find it right now.
Dude, like we said some stuff.
So
we
I-
said and did some stuff.
Wait, whoa. We.
Well,
the,
yeah,
Yeah, no,
us.
you
No.
were the, yeah.
You were in that video where you had the earring on.
Was it? Which
There
one?
was nothing bad about that video.
No,
I was just pointing.
which
at
video?
he was just in a video.
I mean, I
had
still have
an
my
earring
earrings. I just don't put them on anymore.
on. I'm saying you had that video.
No, you're a part of this now, so this is your baby.
Yeah.
now.
So
So like when
the
so
ship
when,
goes down,
so
you're
when
on
the
it.
ship goes down, it'd be like it was all Hector's idea. He was in the back end. He was in the back end of it.
Just how you part coke. Just
No, we don't part nothing.
I don't part it.
Yeah.
yeah,
All
that's
in.
crazy.
That was all. It was all Hector's idea. The whole thing.
Nope.
The gay video.
No, it wasn't. That's all them.
Him saying-
Remember, he said before I was even here. Remember, he
No,
said that. He
I-
said
I-
that
I-
earlier in
Well,
the video.
in front of the camera is what he meant because you were in the back end.
No, I was never
Before
there.
you were in front.
No,
here.
no,
Before you were
no,
here, because
no,
we
no.
were never here, but either because we didn't have the studio.
Right.
These were all Hector's
No,
ideas.
no.
We were never really in the garage, so we're all here.
Mhm.
I'm getting very uncomfortable.
It's okay. It's a brick wall. It's a comedy routine.
Are we done yet?
Well, I'm just about. Somebody say
Oh
one more
my
sentence. I
God.
think we're fine.
Oh wait, please don't say anything that I have to censor.
I apologize for saying that line.
There we go.
almost years ago.
There we go.
I
It'll
felt
end on
bad
that.
about that shit. I was like, yo.
That's how it ends. That's how it ends. I'm
Pretty
sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
legit. I was like,
It's funny. He had message. What did you say to me? I remember he brought it up. He's like, bro, that shit was on there, and I laughed really hard. But man,
yeah, I
I
felt
should
bad.
not have
Did
said
we
that.
also, there was one where you were like masturbating to cheese.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
different.